believe this is working. All right, Renoise. Cool. So most important thing first, preferences menu is here. And this is where you can change your theme. They have a bunch you can select from. It's important that you get a cool looking theme that appeals to you. You can change how the different parts look. They have a global color filter here. Anyway, got different textures you can add. Anyway, that's how you get your theme happening. Okay, so there's different windows that you can access by pressing the function keys. A lot of keyboards now don't have function keys, but they're crucial for Renoise. So F1 is this screen, F2 is this screen, F3 is this screen. And those are the main three, F1, 2, and 3. And everything else is basically accessible from 3. I don't know if they have, oh yeah, there's it's basically going through these tabs here. The sampler and the MIDI. So, okay, let's start simple. So one of the first things we want to do is, well, let's make like a simple beat, for example. So this is the editing window, but let's get our sounds first. So if you go to F3, which is the sampler tab, and this is the sample, and this is the list of all samples. You can navigate this if you have a numerical keypad on your keyboard. You can access this with plus and minus signs. Option tab and Option Shift tab will shift the focus around here to these different parts. So this part here is the browser. You can kind of train these different menus on whatever you want. So let me go to some beats, sorry, drum machines. Okay, let's get bass drum. All right, bass drum enough for me. All right, so I'm gonna scroll down to the next and put like a hi-hat or something. And a snare, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so you can edit these. Let's say I want to get rid of that silence. Or so there's a bunch of tools down here, like if your samples aren't good, you can change the volume. You hover over it, it'll say what it does. So if I wanted to like have this be like that, I could. Or, you know, whatever you want, you can loop it. Sometimes when you import a sample, Renoise defaults to that. This is an interesting one. It kind of it smooths out the edges. You can render effects chains, blah, 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 blah. There's more complicated things you can do to this, but let's keep it simple. Going back to the edit window, I now have 3 samples loaded here, bass, snare, and hi-hat. So let's put them on each of their own tracks here. I can rename the tracks. So I know where I'm putting them. I can color them differently if I want to, for fun. Yeah. All right, so which one was which here? I can rename these samples too, which I will do because who wants to look at this weird thing? So this is the... All right, so back here, now I can produce a little beat. So let's just do, oh, okay, so the keyboard has a certain there are certain things on the keyboard that mean notes. I forget exactly how you see the keyboard. I'll go over that later. You can look on the website too, but there's certain notes that refer to input. Also, as you can't input into anything in here. Notice I'm playing the bass drum, but it's not adding any information here. So I'll have to press escape, and that turns on the record button basically. So I'm editing now. So, hold on, this theme is bad. Let's do a different theme. There, okay. Now I can see what I just entered. All right, so this information that I just put is referring to and playing this sample at this playback speed. So that is saying C4 sample 00. This is saying C4 sample 02, and then I'll put the hi-hat here. All right. And then let's just copy paste this stuff. And then I can go back with bass drum and do like something along these lines. Oops, I did it wrong. This needs. All right. Oops. Copy paste this. Okay, so this is the simple thing. If I want to, I can add more tracks by doing Command T. I can take away new tracks by doing Command Shift T. So I'm going to take away all the tracks I'm not using. So I just have this. All right. This mode is going to follow the cursor. Here's the metronome. All right, so this is, if you look on the left, this is the step pattern. So this is hexadecimal code. It makes it easy for if you're working in a 4/4 frame, because 1 is then your second bar, more or less, because it's you've passed 16 steps already. So I like to keep it in hex. You can turn it to regular numbers, deca, whatever. You can also change. Okay, so this is the BPM. Renoise defaults to 155. You can change it, whatever. This is lines per beat. So this is a fairly arbitrary. So I mean, this is beats per minute, and this is lines per beat. So you can change this, but as you change this, it keeps your pattern the same relative steps. But as you can see, the tempo is now different. Or I should say the subdivision, really. Anyway, this can be happy. So, okay, so one of the things that you really have to keep handy is this, the pattern effects commands. So this is like, okay, global commands. So this is how you can change the tempo and all this stuff on the fly. And as a best practice, I would put this in the master track. What this is, where my cursor is, but you can put it anywhere. So this would be, so for example, ZT is tempo. So put ZT, and then I'm setting what it is. So if I leave it at 0, that's nothing. It's not gonna play. So if I put 2, that's 32. So I put A, that's 160. 9. This is in hex too, by the way. So 9F. Let's do one. Let's figure out what 120 is. So 7, 8. All right, so that's 120. Okay, so in each track, I should mention, so these, the lines on the left are for putting samples, and the lines on the right are for putting these pattern effect commands, which there are many of, but I'll just get into some of them. But let me show you some variations that can happen on the left. So one of the things that you can do is, well, let me load a different sample that I can do some different stuff with. Let's find something cool. There we go. So I'll pop this down here. Great. I'll make a new track for this orchestra hit. All right. So now I've put it at the same, again, C4, which is playing at the regular tempo. So let's then add some different notes. So this is just for the sake of argument. You can see how this looks. And then, etc. All right, so as you can see, I'm still, these two numbers, 0, 3, still referring to sample 0, 3 here, but the left part of it, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, those are musical notes, obviously. So some other things that you can do if you press caps lock, it has, basically stops the sample from playing. You can, if you have your cursor on this part and you do Command Shift left and right arrow, you can add other, you can add another column of this. So I could simultaneously play, you know, something like this. Really good. All right, so, and then you see you have these two dots for each column. Let's say I want to add some separation here. So this is normally the volume column. I can open this up by pressing Command Shift P, and then I get another two dots, and that's the panning column. It doesn't, I think, so, okay, panning is something like, okay, it says down here when I start typing, 0, 0 is full left, 40 is center, and 80 is full right. So if I wanted to do like, so this is a sample level adjustment. This is, so the track, I haven't gotten into this yet, but this is the track, this is like the mixing panel for the track, for this track, which is labeled orc. It is panned to the center, but I can play each sample at a panned value. For example. Or if I want to mess with the volume column, so if I type something here, so volume is different, or no, it's the same, 0 to 80. So it's the same set of values. So I could, let's say I wanted this to fade out, I could go 0, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4, 5. Great. All right, so, and then I have the pattern effect column here. So you can do, there's a bunch of stuff you can do in here for that. One thing you can do, for example, is like this up value. So I can give it up. It's basically space U, and then you have to give it a value. So I'm going to give it 1, 0. Here's a more extreme, F. There you go. I could do this on every step here. Can do up and down, F. Do it as extreme as possible. Great. All right, just what are some other stuff? Okay, there's a re-trigger pattern, so you can, this will like re-trigger at a certain line. So it doesn't do anything at 0, but if you do 1, it'll sound like really high pitched. And then as you increase the value, it's re-triggering it at a greater distance. So there's arpeggio, which I think is, yeah. Let's use the orc hit again, do some arpeggiating. So this is like the first and second notes. So yeah, A24, the film company. So it sounds kind of like that video gamey sound. Yeah. So that's the arpeggiator. You can trigger offset. So let's get a breakbeat up in here. How about? Let's go back to my window here. I have breakbeats somewhere. Breakbeats. All right, perfect. All right, so let's just do. All right, so just. Perfect. Perfect, flawless victory. I can zoom in here if I want to tighten this up a little bit. Okay, so if I just drop this in, break beat at C4, it's gonna, here, let's get into some mixing because I want to be able to hear this. So I'm gonna turn this pupper down, drop in a compressor. By the way, so these are the effects that you have. So you have, at the highest level, you have native effects, and then anything else you have in your system that it's being read will populate below it. If you use the native effects, if you just stick to the native effects, then everything you put on here will transfer with the file and can be opened by any other person who accesses the file. So it's best to use the native effects. Okay, so yeah, I'll just put compressors on everything because why? And then I'll use the bus compressor for this guy. I need this to be quieter. So basically, as you move your cursor between tracks, it's showing you the different effects chains down here. So there's a bunch of other stuff. Like I can put, let's see how I want to have this like crappy reverb. All right. So you notice the beat isn't looping. So let's go ahead and loop it forward. Right now sounding real good. So you're wondering like, how do we get it to be in time with the music? Well, there's a beat sync. Over here you have the sample properties. There's a beat sync. And this is confusingly in normal digits as opposed to hex digits. So it's saying 32. So if we put 16. There we go, perfect. All right. So now we can do a command called offset, I think, right? Oh no, that's delay note by ticks. Wait, what's offset? That's volume fade. Oh, slice. Tricky. All right, so the offset value. So you have the numbers across the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. So let's say you want to hit this snare. It's something like slightly above 4. So it'll be like 4, 2 maybe, which is about what it was. And then you can do something like that. You can also add, you can do this either in the volume column or in the effects column. You can place stuff backwards. Let's slice 4-2 again. Cool, nice funky beat. Let's do a retrigger just for fun. I like the retrigger command. You can also do the same, the UFO command. Yeah, up, down. It doesn't always have to be so extreme. You can slide it up and down if you want to, gradually. All right, so cool. So let's say, okay, I want this hi-hat to be funkier than it is. Let's get rid of this retrigger command for now. So let's look at the delay by ticks. So this is, you can delay, let's say you wanted to make triplets on top of this four-stepped subdivision. You could do something like this. Well, okay, let's do it. You would have to do it like this. So if you have like da-da-da, 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 like that. Here. Oh, let me, all right, so we can add then offset to the second and third here. So let's just try 4 and 7. 4 and 7 seems like a... So I'm delaying the first one by 4 ticks and the second one by 7 ticks. Approximates a triplet. It'll be different for whatever tempo or subdivision you're trying to achieve. Yeah, okay, there you go. Oh yeah. Don't forget about your backwards command in the volume column. Yeah. All right. Now let's really get into the fun stuff. So let's turn off this just for now. Just back to the breakbeat. So the maybe command. get some more oomph to this pupper. Okay, so the maybe command. It's one of my favorites. So you press Y, and this is maybe trigger line with probability of XX. So, and 0, 0 is mutually exclusive, which I'll get into that. So now it's fairly low probability that this note will be triggered. So I can loop. By the way, if you press enter on your numerical keyboard, this is cycling this part of the pattern, which is 1/4 of the thing, and you can change the length here, 1/5. And then if you just move your cursor down here, you get this. You get the next segment. Anyway, so this is like 1/4. So it's a low probability that this bass drum note will be hit. If I want it to be high probability, I can just put it at F. Basically hits it every time, but it not for sure. There's a low probability. There it was a skip just then. So if you wanted to have it like pretty right down the middle, you put it down at 8, and then everything will be like, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen. Okay, so that's cool. All right, so there's more stuff that I'm not getting to. Tremolo, set position of envelope. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. Panning. Yeah, there's more stuff. You can get into all the details here. There's a vibrato as well. Vibrato's fun. If you want to see kind of how this is actually working, you can look here and you can see like the playhead, how it functions. Or like the playheads here, there's multiple playheads happening. All right, let me turn off this. All right, so a very important thing. So let's say we're in the orchestra hit call, and we're like, all this stuff is too high, I want it to be lower. You can open this little menu here and you have some transposition options. You can change, or you're like, let's say I want to change this instrument to another instrument. Simple thing is, so selection in pattern, this is a pattern. I'll go over multiple patterns in a second. You have copy, paste, so content mask, what you're selecting basically. So you can select just the instrument or whatever. So I can push the notes down by an octave. Or up an octave. Whatever. You can mirror it across a given note. So let's say what's a F? That kind of messes it up. You can quantize. You can nudge. I don't even know what that is. So instrument swap, let's do that because that can be useful. Or let's say you're like, I want it to be doubled with another instrument. So put another track, make it the same size as that track and paste here. So now I have two of the identical tracks. Let's say this one, let's go back here. Sorry, looking for that good sample. Looking for a good sample. Others. RF samples. How about sounds? Oh, great. Good choice. Okay. Whatever thing this is. Okay, so I have sample 3 in every note in this whole mess here. So I can say source 3 and destination 5. And then just swap. Oops. What did I just do? Jeez. So really good stuff. So maybe let's say I want this to be offset rhythmically. I can press the insert key. Oh man, maybe I changed that. Anyway. Jeez. If you want to figure out what your keys are, you can go in here. You can be, let's see, insert, shift. What is that? Plus or minus? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I can displace it down here. I think the track is sounding really good. Okay, cool. The track is sounding really good so far. Let's look at the patterns over here. So this is, you have a menu over here similar to this that can pop out. And this will show you the patterns that you're working with. So these are basically all the tracks and what they have. So if I have this section highlighted and I select this pattern, see it's grayed out, I can then do something like Command, I think D, yeah, duplicates it. So everything that I've selected. So now I have 4 of these puppers, and then in this window, if I want to, I can mute sections with, oh yeah, Enter key, for example, or I can just delete them straight up, or I can copy paste. Like I just put that in this track. I can insert a new section just with this. So this is just like empty. I can all right, so and then yeah, so I have a little silly little sequence here. This little number here in the corner of your track window is how long it is. So you can change the length of these patterns. So like the first one is 40. Let's say I just want it to be 20. It'll cut off the end of what's there. So let's say I just wanted this one with no drums. I want it to be very short, so I'll just make it 10. And it comes back. So then it doesn't really, oops, what is the thing? It's like Control M, or Option M, opens and closes this little window. Okay, so now this one is 10, so it's very short. This one's half the length. Obviously you can increase it or whatever. All right, so let's say you want to sidechain everything to the bass drum, because that's something you can do. First, you have these auxiliary tracks over here on the other side of the master track, and you can create as many of these as you want. That's just, I'm pressing Command T, by the way. All right, so let's just put everything to the bass drum, sidechain everything to the bass drum. So here's my track. So I have my effects here. The way it looks is a little confusing because the routing is on the left-hand side. Or no, okay, wait, sorry, I'm confused. You have to add this effect. So they have meta effects. So there's a send somewhere, routing. There we go, send. Okay. All right, so now it defaults to this S1. So I can move my cursor to the other track and add it. It'll put it at the end here. It defaults to muting source, so it's going to the send and then to the master bus. All right, so I have everything now in here in the send, except for the bass drum. All right, so now I can put a gainer tool here. This is just controlling the gain and panning. And then I can have a follower key tracker. Let's do, is this it? No, yeah, current track. So if you put this on the bass drum track, and then the destination can be S1, gainer, and then, so this is the effect that you're choosing. I'm choosing the gainer, and then you can choose the gain. And so I think by default, like this. Oh, I don't want a key tracker. What is the thing called? It's like a signal follower. My bad. All right. Anyway, same deal. Destination, gainer, gain. Yeah, so it's inverting what I want it to be right now, and it's very extreme. So I want the minimum to be at 0. And I want the max to be like just down a bit. So there it goes. So then I can adjust the attack and the release and the sensitivity. More extreme. About like this. There. You can really hear that good. All right, so I could also do things like this. For example, let's do. All right, so let's say I have a delay. And I want this, I can add a LFO object here. And so this has a destination, so I can put it on, so current track, delay, and then I can, let's do left delay, and then I'll put another one for the right delay. And then you have like amplitude. You can kind of see these going back and forth. I'll turn down the feedback a little bit. Turn up the amplitude. You can change the frequency here. Some random number, just do random stuff all the time, you know? There we go. Now they're really not in sync. The track is really sounding great. Put a compressor on the master bus. Make sure everything's. Let me put a chorus effect on the master bus, and then we'll put an LFO, and then we'll put that on the dry wet signal so it comes in and out. Let's offset a little bit. You can offset to the, I guess I don't know which side is dry wet. Cool. It's looking really good. All right, so it's gonna loop from the top to the bottom, but if I wanted it to just loop particular set of patterns, let's say, I can highlight those over here and do Command L, and you'll see this little gray thing here, and so it's only going to loop this bit. It's more of like a working on it. All right, perfect. Sound good. So you can just like double the length. Okay. One more very, very important thing, because I like to do this very much. So I'm gonna add a new track. Let's get a new sample even. Come on, give me something good. Oh yeah, okay, let's do recording a sample. I didn't even think about that. All right, so let's say I want to do Vox. Oops. All right, so how does this work again? You go here, record. Okay, I forget what the key command is for this. All right, so it's on the sampler window. By the way, this is the mixer. You can just see everything in a mixer setting if you want to. All right, so record. I'm gonna record my voice. All right, so you can record this to a pattern, which is super handy. Hold on, I'm gonna just turn off the delay for recording. No, I can't turn off the delay for recording. I'm gonna need it. Anyway, so if I start, I can press the space bar to play it, and then I can press start to start recording, and it will start after. So you'll see how this kind of goes. Starting with this. So then after. Yo, what's up? My name is Heavenly Madonna, and I got here because I'm stuck with the disaster of my fauna. Ain't heard nothing like that yet, my boy. She's a keeper waiting. All right, so I got a perfect, flawless vocal take here. Yo, what's up? It's a little distorted. My voice is distorted, but that's cool. So like, so I can just. So really, where I started recording was this pattern. So like exactly where I have to put in the sample here where I start. Sometimes there's some latency you might have to compensate for, but that's your problem. All right, so let me talk about the pattern in pattern. So let's say this, what I can do, I say pattern, it's called phrases. So I can create a phrase, and this has like a little editor inside of it. Oops. I just want less columns here. This kind of defaults to like a looping thing. And it doesn't show you the samples, so. All right, this looks a little bit more normal. You have to click this button here. And this is referring to this sample, not this sample, because this is nested inside of this sample. If you see this little icon here, that means that it's using this phrase. Okay, so, and then this normal kind of stuff. Oh yeah, it has, down here you have like auto seek. Oh yeah, auto seek is handy because it means that, I'll explain that later. Auto seek is handy. This is looping. I don't want looping on for this. Notice that this is 20. This phrase is 40. So I can leave it at 20 though, because some of my patterns are shorter. So I'll just leave it at 20. So let's say, and then this is phrase 1 down here. But the way I'm going to use this, let me do this. I'm going to record just a new waveform sample. So I'm going to click this button and create another sample in this part. And I'm going to record outside of not hearing the pattern. So I'm just going to sync to none. I'm just going to press start. I'm going to go, ooh. All right, now I have this beautiful thing. Let's cut off this. Cut off this. All right, so now I have two beautiful things. So I can, in this, let's create another track. Oops, that's that. So each of these have their own like pattern effect column. I'm going to use the maybe command, and I'm going to leave it at, maybe is Y. So I'm going to leave it at 0, 0, which means they're mutually exclusive. And I'm use the volume command to refer to these. So if I don't put anything here, then this maybe command doesn't really mean anything. But I can put them at F probability, which is the highest, and then it will either choose this one or this one. Then F, 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 then F. Yo, what's up? My name is then F. I did record that sample, right? Maybe I'm just then F, then F, then unlucky, then F, then F, then F, then F, then F. Yo, what's then F? Huh. Then F. Yo, what's up? My name. Then F. Then F. That's really weird. Ooh, ooh. I don't know why that isn't working. I'm just gonna ignore it. Ooh. All right, let's just. I literally don't know why that isn't working. Okay, but keeping it simple so I can prove my point. Let's use the maybe command to, we'll just say this. This should trigger both of them at the same time, right? Then after, yo, all right, there we are. Then after, yo. All right, so let's just say, so this one, yo, what's up? This pattern, they're both going to be triggered 100% of the time. All right, so let's say, let's just call this maybe. All right, so let's make these really distinct. So this one, I'm duplicating this instrument, which is duplicating the phrase. And then at this one, let's put them up an octave. How about that? What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good idea? Then after, yeah. All right, so, and then one more, same thing, but down. Oops. All right, so now I have 3 instruments here, and I can put them all here. All right, so I'll put them all at 0. So this has a singular pattern effect column, so I can put Y00, 0, and then I can put YF, and then it'll be mutually exclusive, and it's going to choose one of them. So you can see which over here, which is getting chosen. Yo, what's up? My name is. Yo, so right now they're not cutting each other off, because they're on different tracks, and they outlive one another. So let's see. I think this is, we want it to be one shot. Loop off. These don't loop, right? They don't loop. Well, anyway, if I want to, I can just copy and paste it like this on every part.
Yo, what's up? My name is
Yo, what's up? My name is. Yo, what's up? My name is Heavenly Madonna, and I've got here because I'm stuck with the disaster of my fauna. All right, let's figure out how to make them cut off. I think it's one shot. Yo, what's up? My name is Heavenly Madonna. All right, well, they're not getting cut off, but we can do this. Go to the end of each pattern and put the off command just before the downbeat. That way we know they will get cut off. There is a way, though, in the sample properties. I'm not sure what it is.
Heavenly Madonna, and I've got here because I'm stuck with the disaster of my fauna. Ain't heard nothing like that yet, my boy.
There we go. Yo, what's up? My name is... All right, so maybe we want to change the tempo every single measure or every single pattern. Of course we do. It's exactly what we want. Let's do... Where's that delay? The delay's turned on. All right, so this is our song. So we're gonna save it. No, we're not. We're gonna export. All right, so render song to disk. You can use automatic file naming and save each track to a separate file, which is normally what I do because I like to mix things outside of Renoise sometimes, or you can just bounce it like this. And then it'll just save a single file, bounces away file. Anyway, that's all. I think that's it.